One. Hey, we are back with the HOOA podcast. I think this is number five. I lost track of this shit, like been doing them back to back to back. Or whatever, like when a cool guest wanted to come on. And today we have from Twitter, add some more. Maybe you want to introduce yourself to the audience as to what you talk about. And yeah, a little bit about yourself. Anything you want, you know?
Appreciate you, man. First and foremost, thank you for having me on. Wow, got to get the whole call sign and all that shit out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be some more. I'm an alchemist. I'm an astrologer. I do a bunch of refining. I do a bunch of training. I kick this occult shit, a bunch of magic. Other people tap into their potential and step into their identity. It's my whole game. So it's a pleasure to be here for you. Looking
Yeah,
forward to everything we
100%.
got going on here.
I noticed that, yeah, that you were really into magic, alchemy, the more esoteric side of Twitter. And usually those guys, how do I say, they don't put out content on a consistent base without sounding like a complete nut job, you know? For you, it sounds really rooted in who you are, you know? There's a logic behind what you're saying.
Oh, absolutely. I see where you're from, and there was that just this whole little topic first on the 21st of this month that all these people are going to get superpowers and the nature. And I can see why people would say spirituality and the esoteric section of Twitter is full of crackbox because of that kind of stuff. The way we run with that, the problem is that my stuff is more so grounded in the narrative of the individual. It's not so much that you would get any quote unquote great superpowers, but if you step into the frame, if you form your mind accordingly, you
Hmm.
can bend make shit to your whim. But you have to step into that kind of accountability and that whole divine mindset. It's not just not got
Yeah.
tryouts for the X-Men and all that shit. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yo, bro, can you? So the divine
Right. So
mindset.
with this,
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
so this whole mindset is for you in particular. You have a certain matrix. You have your matrix all your own. That's how you view this whole reality. That's how you get down with all this shit. For what you've done, it seems as though you've taken on this whole role of ninja, and you've done it masterfully. You've maintained your frame. You've like even how I caught up in this motherfucker. I said, "Hooah!" right out the jump. Your call sign, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm jumping into your shit, showing you homage, paying respect to you. I'm not coming in
Yes.
here like I know better than you. I'm not coming in here like I'm the cigar lord and all that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Nah, I pay my entrance and humble shit. But at the same time, I know that I'm the master of my shit, my narrative, which is on some alchemy and astrology shit.
Yeah.
So just because I come and I maintain on my square, you're able to have a conversation with me without there being this whole pseudo arrogance and me knowing everything
Hmm.
and I'm the god of the universe and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
and all that shit. Fuck that. Nah, man. I take care of me. I save me just like you save yourself. It's just I have a different narrative approach to this shit. Not better, simply different.
Yeah, I like that. How you said like a different narrative, matrix, and like frame. But usually when people say frame and stuff like that, I instantly jump to game. You know, gaming women. But
Yep.
I assume
Yep.
that you mean also a little bit other things with just interactions in general. Can you touch upon a little about that?
Absolutely. But clear and everything, because that whole Tate shit, man, is both sides, man. It's both sides. It's PhD and both sides and everything. So, like, if you want to do the whole PhD for what I do on my account, I'm PhD and some motherfuckers who are into occult. That's my type and shit. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna go around to a bunch of motherfuckers who don't believe in this shit and need to convince them. That's the game, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You know
You
what it is?
Yeah, yeah. It's like in sales, you disqualify.
Yep. Yep. So it's the same. So I'm disqualifying anybody who don't get down with my divinity, my doctrine, and the fact that I'm God and speaking to gods. You see it all the time. Peace, God. What's up, God? People will refute that power because they don't want it. So I
Yeah.
don't talk to them no more.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's that Tate shit. What you said, like, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's a good example because, like, for those in the not know, like, what Tate does without going into much detail on that. So Tate is a normal man, and he has to get new women like any other dude. So he talks like with these women, like 2 to 3 quick interactions, and if you do this a lot, I can do it. I've been doing it a lot as well. So you only get the women that actually want you. So, but all the other ones don't want any of this ninja shit, like some more here just said. Then you just, I even say
Exactly.
stupid ass shit like I'm like a fucking ninja or a samurai. and you get like 4 to 5 different reactions, but only one of them is, haha, you're really funny. All the other ones, you don't play ball with them. And this is the same with
Exactly.
more business with his alchemy and his clients, or just going straight up sales calls, whatever, And it's good to maintain frame this way. It's not that you're better or, you're just different. You're just being you. And if this person's not fucking with you, then just fuck off.
Exactly. Because it took like a bunch of trial and error, especially with my family, because I'm the quote unquote black sheep. I'm the occultist. I'm the shaman in this motherfucker. So it took a minute trying to sell these motherfuckers my dream, my narrative. Yo, I do this. I'm not gonna be the same as y'all. I'm not damned
Yeah.
up. They weren't buying what I'm selling. Finally, quit selling to these motherfuckers. The people buy. So I've been doing ever since. I've been focusing on my tribe, cultivating, making sure everybody else does the shit, can touch the shit.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think this is a nice segue into the first question. I usually ask people what kind of books they have gifted the most, or if you don't have gifted books, what are like influential books in your life?
My books like kind of like range all over. Um, I do have those cliche like just for them being on this shelf. I have all Robert Greene shit except for
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the 50th Law. I have a bunch of esoteric shit went into different ways that you can like build own grimoires, what rituals, intentions, and things of that nature are. I have like just those like Tim Ferriss, all those like 4 hour work week to Tools of Titans and everything. It's just trying to reach over and branch out a whole bunch of shit. I got the Kabbalion, I got Art of War, I got like 50, 60 books in my room. Some of
That's a
them
rare
haven't
one.
been
You said
opened yet, but
the
it's just
Kabbalion, right? The Kabbalion. Yeah.
yeah,
And can
yeah.
you like maybe
So I'll
give
try
like
to
an
like
example of
pull
like a good esoteric magic book? What you said, grimoire, or what was it?
next an example of some esoteric magic shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just going based on like how I alluded to grimoires and shit. All grimoires is a book of shadows or your own individual Bible. That's what that shit is. So if you take your grimoires blank book and say that this is my book that I'm going to use to master my matrix, that's you programming this book. So whatever you put in this is going to master your matrix.
Oh.
So what I take with that shit, I have 4 of them, and I'm very, very serious with this shit. I have one for like each of the elements.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm going to write uh, draft little notebooks and shit. Write out all my spells, write out all my intentions, write all my shit until it gets to the point like, yeah, this is my shit. So when I put it in that book, it's law.
I get it. That's good. Oh, that's actually fucking dope because like I dabble around with journaling, and people like they talk about journaling, but you give it a more like a sanctuous quality, almost like holy. Like you put it in a book, it's law.
Yes,
I think I need to do that as well.
yes.
But is it like it doesn't matter what kind of book it is, or
There's like different types and everything. I can like legitimately show you a couple of them and everything. And I can even come for you, dude, all love and all that shit, get you your own and all that. It's just a legit blank book or blank
yeah,
book, and you just like you're journaling or whatever in the more refined shit, just like you do with the whole smoke shit. Like sometimes it's intuitive and you just think the shit out. But if you have it like actually grounded and written down, then it's like, oh, when I'm feeling as though I just conquered a bitch, then I'm gonna smoke this shit like a dragon and let it work. Little intentions that you do when you create little rituals like you do HOOA. I don't know what you do, dog. Maybe if you say HOOA and then beat your chest. I don't fucking know. But that in
oh yeah,
itself would be a ritual.
like a little ritual. Yeah, I do those kind of things, but I usually keep those things private because another person would think I'm like a nut job. But I sometimes do it with like a cigar,
Exactly.
my garden and stuff like that. Like I think something and like almost a little ritual, almost like yeah, crazy as.
But that's it exactly. And then your little grimoire would be your personal meditations, mantra.
Okay,
You don't
that's
show
pretty good.
everybody. That's your
That's actually really interesting. I wonder if like somebody listening to this right now would think like, shit, I'm gonna make like a empty book as well. And yeah, but I think a lot of people don't take their intentions seriously enough to make it law. They're too
hmm
wishy-washy with these things.
hmm
Yeah, they have to take themselves more seriously.
Absolutely. And it helps you maintain your you, you're not just foolishly just kick what you can't stand the silence. You're
What did you
comfortable
say?
with this
Can you
shit.
repeat that? You broke up a little bit.
I was saying like it helps with your game because essentially it's maintaining yourself in your frame. This is your narrative. You're the screenwriter. You're the author. You're
Ah,
the
yes,
director of this shit.
yes,
You can't be yeah. That's what I'd be saying. Like you can't be the authority figure without being the author as well. So if
yes.
you're not running your shit, someone else is.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Especially a lot of people talk to me about this because they label me as a writer. But I like to label myself as a writer because just how you put it, you are the author of your story. If you ain't writing your story, beautiful quote, somebody else is writing it for you. And this could be also like in terms of
Yep.
business. There's this famous cliche quote: "If you're not working on your business, you're working on somebody else's
Mm-hmm.
business or dream or whatever." Because that's what you're doing. You're playing the
Absolutely.
man or whatever, you know. So
Yeah,
that's
because
it.
like essentially you didn't take the accountability, the authority, and the control in your own realm, so somebody casted you into their own. You didn't want to be the star. You
Yes,
auditioned for roles the whole time.
yes,
Oh, I don't know how to make money. I need a job. Do you cover me? I don't know. I'm not that good. I could do this, or I could do that, or I could do that. I'm an alchemist. I pull money out the air like Moneybag Mountain. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
mine. The gold is me.
yeah. Did you say
So,
Moneybag Madden? Did you say it? Yeah, yeah. He's
yeah, I love Moneybag.
yeah, yeah. I know him from like I think 1 year. Sometimes I DM with him. He's a good friend. He's supposed to come on this as well,
Hmm.
but he's really busy. These things I have to schedule as well. But we'll pop some smoke with him as well.
Yeah, gotta catch up.
Yeah. Okay, let's segue to the next question. Like, what is the under $100 one of the greatest purchases you've made this month or most recently?
Most recently, I got shit. My greatest purchase, like, it would be this month. It would be getting into the war room in May.
Yeah.
Because once I got into it, I realized I am the brokest, dumbest, most grounded in terms of like move motherfucker in the room, and it
Yeah.
really affirmed to me, revealed to me how little value I was actually giving.
Mhm.
So since May until like legitimately right now,
Mhm.
working, pulling in more value, creating my own network, looking into new networks, my craft, working and knocking out clients, creating these books, like working on webinars, revamping the site, all this shit.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
realized like there, I wasn't doing really enough and I was
yeah.
coming in on some quote unquote bitch ass shit, like what can I do? And that's the
Okay.
wrong frame of mind.
Yeah.
So the most recent one I got into would be that Hypernova cook group. So there's different ways to make and flip money and all that shit. Um, and just my money's going to my business book covers and all the stuff that I'm working with that
Okay.
shit.
I like that
That's
one
pretty minimum,
because
man.
some more like usually if somebody answered this question they would think a purchase as in like for me I would say something stupid as a cigar or somebody would say a whiskey or a clothing garment but you actually used investments to gain network and basically you're paying yourself investing in yourself.
Yeah, man. Like I'm very I don't really do all the shit. I'm gonna catch up soon. But I
Yeah,
don't do all the shit with all my clothes nice, man. You be dressed sharp, dog, be seeing you. But once my funds are there, I'm gonna catch up.
yeah, it's just it was a little bit how do you say these days I focus on the internals. I don't give a fuck actually how I dress, and that gives a sense of like carelessness, fregatura, as the Italians would say, because these clothes I actually bought when I was a little bit younger, and I focused too much on the external world, you know, a little bit show off and those kind of bullshit. Now these days it's all about the minds, skill sets,
Word,
being the person that's valuable enough to wear those clothes. Because once you then tap into those clothes as if like
word,
it's a suit of armor, you know, then they will know that guy he's worthy. You know, it's something like that. I think. You know. Oh, I always say like you can dress a monkey in a suit. It's still a monkey. You know.
word.
So
Absolutely true, man.
I have to transcend, self-actualize those kind of stuff. What you're busy with as well. I like that. But it's really dope. So we can tie in really nicely with what you said. You said you wanted to catch up, you know, but so also you touched upon a little bit with your family, like you're the black sheep. But is there like a big failure you want to mention to the people listening, like a big failure that has forged you, or like your biggest failure?
Um, I would say my current biggest failure that like goes and pushes me is my relationship with my younger brother. He just turned 29. I'm 30. That used to be my ace. That used to be my go-to. My dog. I actually orbit him a lot. So he was the source of the relationship shit.
Okay.
Just because we grew up both from military, a lot. Mom passed and shit. So I'm just like watching this nigga. So
Yeah.
it was revealed to me as me being the black sheep that he doesn't really fuck with me and my mission and things the way that I do. Like he doesn't ask about it, inquire about it. He thinks this online isn't as real as this whole like 9 to 5 shit. So I have to let go and work on my own things. I have to do my own thing. They let me believe that I can't keep selling to him or my father. So I haven't really talked to my brother in like the last 6 months, even Mr. didn't invite me to this shit.
Yeah.
So in terms of like a failure,
Yeah.
it would just be like the fact that I'm not balancing overall life with
Yeah.
my last two gentlemen that are in my life from my family. So
Okay.
that would be my biggest failure.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, man. I feel that.
Love, man.
Because how do I say, like, especially a unique person like you, I can relate with that. You go your own path, and when you go your own path, on this path, it's not meant for everybody, and
Word.
you take for granted, maybe even because you were bound in blood, you know, because you came from the same mother, presumably, right? And then you think you think
Mhm.
it's there's like a relation there set, you know, and and then some things happen, and what do they say, like trust is worked on like for decades or whatever, but it's lost really quickly, you know. And yeah, I can relate with that as well, you know.
Yeah, man. But like it's just like an affirmation type of thing because what I'm realizing is that like
Hmm.
I'm healing generation curses because
Yes.
I'm going for my millions.
Yes.
So my father didn't know the millions. My mother didn't know the millions. Like my father's from Flint, oldest and shit. My mother's from like the country, Indiana, and my brother and I just didn't grow up with millions. So
Yes.
me seeing certain things and having a vision, you're not gonna see it yet until I actually manifest it, quote unquote, physically. It's
Yes.
tangible. They can see in the jacuzzi in the house suite. Oh, that's what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Then it works. So I have to
Yeah.
do those things, and I'm realizing I have to do those things first for them to see it. That doesn't mean that it's not valuable until they see it. It just
Yeah.
means that that's what they require.
Yes, I understand. Most people, let's say 80% of the population, is see it when they believe it. You know, believe it when they see it. I mean, that yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't understand the vision, the trajectory, the intention, the manifestation, to put your thoughts toward these concepts and these visions that you're aiming towards. I feel you 100%. You said a little bit about yeah, generational curses. Can you explain a little bit about that? That's an interesting concept. I see some people tweeting, but I don't feel like everybody understands it. You have to have to come from a certain place of mind, but also a certain place where you come from. Can you touch upon that?
Yeah. So in terms of like generational curses, or how at least I'm using it, I'll
Hmm.
utilize my father. My father is the older of several. His father wasn't around, and his mom just had to like grind. She's go strong. So she's like doing what she has to do to get by in Flint. He's
Yes.
doing what he has to do, taking care of all the younger siblings and everything. So there's a certain mindset where you just have to get it or you have to survive or something
Hmm.
like that. So it wasn't like they were seeing grand excess of money. Even Flint right now is seeing money. So it's like it just is what it is.
Hmm.
So for my mother, it was a similar thing where it's like all the money she made went to the family because the family needed money for like rent and shit.
Yeah.
So getting to the point where I am like right now, I don't have to
Hmm.
do that. Like I don't have to go into a job. I don't have to like rely on other people. I created my own network. I
Hmm.
created a lane like to myself, and I'm
Hmm.
like showing like other people how to do similar things. And it's just soon my family's gonna see this. They don't see it right now, so
Yeah.
soon they will see it, and it'll be undeniable. Plus the tribe, plus the testimonials, plus all that other shit, which will be beautiful
Hmm.
because then I will be there with open arms, like I got you. Of course, I want to teach you first. Yeah, how much you make? 60K a year. All right, here's the K plus $1.
Yeah.
Send out all my emails,
Yeah.
just for jokes and shit. You
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
have to do it, but it's love.
Yeah,
Small business.
I feel that
The
dichotomy
rat
as
race
well.
going.
Yeah, I feel it. A little bit like the teas. The teas, I have the same. Like, for example, I have a in my mind.
Yeah.
You talk a little bit about like future projections, right? So I don't use my old Facebook account, but I have a lot of old people and family there, and I have envisioned in my head certain places I'm gonna be in certain jacuzzis with certain women, certain cars, and I already know the captions on these things. You know, it would be a lot of like
Yep.
teasing, but it will be from a place of a little bit. I told you so. If you'd backed me, I would have been there faster. We could have gone together at the, you know, there was room for everybody, but
Absolutely.
it's gonna be something
Absolutely.
like that. I realize that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's what I've kind of like learned myself is like, yeah, we could have gone up together. Yeah, we'll do that. But that's like the whole shit I'm realizing like life is. I
Hmm.
feel like life at times can be a very much sinking ship. It's capsizing, it's underwater, it's going down. And you have one large breath to get the fuck out of and break the surface, crack through the threshold. You can spend that one breath swimming the fuck up or grabbing as many people as you can. The added weight, trying to bring everybody together.
Hmm.
You got to save yourself, pimp, and deal with all that shit that happens thereafter. Some
Yes.
people don't want to be saved. Some people want to
No.
go down with the ship.
Yes. It's beautiful how you use the sinking ship. I always use the crashing airplane. When an airplane crashes, the oxygen masks fall out of the ceiling, and the pilot always said, "Put on your oxygen mask first." I see that
Yep.
as well. Like, you put on your fucking oxygen mask first. You take care of yourself. You fill your cup until it's fucking brimming. Then you take care of the oxygen of the rest, because the rest
Yep.
is probably panicking. Like, the ship is like fucking crashing, blah blah blah. But somebody needs to like take control of the fucking ship, you know. So
Absolutely.
that's fucking dope to hear. Like, I hear you have like lots of good, how do I say, like spells, you know, like because
Yeah.
because your word is your bond, your magic, you know. So the next question is really interesting for you. Like, if you had a billboard that everybody could see, you know, like a big universe, billboard, you know, everybody could see what's written on it.
Yeah.
What would you write on top of it? What do you want other people to hear or see from you?
Under construction.
Under construction.
Continuously. So that's all they will see is just like stuff that's going to be working on behind the scenes, but they don't know what it is.
That's
So
cool.
that's
But
how I get a
nothing
lot of my
inspirational
projects
to the
and shit.
people.
I don't.
Not per se like that you want to give like a word of courage or something.
Well, if it has to be for other people
Hmm.
and everything in that instance, it would just be I guess one of those like conspiracy theory type of pin boards and everything, but everything that would be connected would be just, oh, this is a Fury tweet, this is a Tate tweet, this is Dylan Madden tweet, this is some dope insight from this person, this is this person, and it's all culminating together into my unique narrative. Like to be like a amalgamation of everybody's insight and inspiration, and I can draw from that shit and like repurpose it and remix it for my own narrative.
Oh,
So like
that's pretty dope. Yeah.
for you, for example, you do the HOOA. I don't have a call. I have like a remain blessed and empowered.
Yeah.
That's my, but not like a call to action. I was like watching the anime or whatever, the My Hero shit, and that Muriel nigga came in and said power and started screaming that
Oh,
shit, and I'm
what's that
like, yo,
anime?
that's
Yeah, I
probably
saw
how
you.
Fury.
Yeah. What
That's
was
like
that
that's
anime?
probably
I'm a
how
little bit
Fury
out of
does
touch.
that shit.
I'm out of touch with that
You're not
anime.
a prom, dude.
What is it?
Um, like this anime and shit. It's like the comics, the superheroes and all that stuff. It's an Eastern version of that shit. And I believe in that, the superhero comics and everything of that nature, because there's so many codes in esoteric game that you pull from. So it's like even if you want to develop a new power, mantra, skill set, etc., there's all this free game that you can pull shit from.
Yeah.
There's all these protagonists doing stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I like to use.
Yeah.
So for like the Muriel example and all that shit, and how he like has this certain call sign, his call sign is power. So every
Yeah.
time he fucking shit up, comes on the scene, power, and it's like everybody knows that it's cool now. Everybody knows it's chill because it's like this comically kind of dude is coming in, but he's coming with a certain kind of strength. But then when you come in on this shit and you talk about what you've been doing over 9K, knock this park out, been traveling on this one man samurai and this vision,
Yeah.
power, hooah.
Yeah,
I've seen certain things, and I'm like, I require one for myself. I
yeah,
require one for every time I do something, talk my shit. So it'd be like a bulletin board like that, where I'm drawing things from inspirations and like, what's the best one for me?
that's pretty dope, actually. Yeah, but remain blessed and empowered, or something you said. Yeah, I like that because
Yeah,
it's from an abundance mindset. Because usually, how do I say? Of course, we've all had lower states of vibe, lower vibe states. And when you're in a lower vibe, you can't say those things. Actually, have you? You know what I mean? You can't bless other people, or you can't. It's not because you're unable, because you're so focused on yourself. And when things aren't
yep.
going that well, you can't empower other people. So definitely ties into like filling your own cup to the brim, and then yeah, blessing other people. I like that.
Yeah, man. I actually started really the whole blessing thing that I was like over giving with that blessing thing. I was like blessing everyone, not just my tribe. And that's not necessarily what my goal or what I'm here for. Because then I'm like on some black sheep shit. I'm trying to work with the people who want to work with me. So not
Yeah,
everybody requires a blessing.
yeah.
So I'm just being more and more judicious with how I spend my energy, being
Mm.
more effective and efficient, moving them in a certain alignment. I don't want to step outside of my frame, fall off of my square in ignorance just so I can get someone's approval.
Yes,
It's never that. It's never worth it.
yes. Can you touch upon a little bit how you said you're more judicious with your energy and your attention? What do you mean by that?
Yeah. It was a point in time. Everything was based on how much stuff. I just didn't have a strong or a large circle around, so I know how to do certain things. So I would forgive. I did a lot of my readings where I under promise and then over. It's like something that I did with every interaction and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And some people weren't worthy of that shit. Some people are succubi, some people are incubi, some people are very malicious, some people have insidious intention. And they just
Yes,
see light that's delectable, delicious, that's bright, sovereign, and they
yes.
just want it. And so I
But
just know.
so you get better by, how do you say, just by experience, that you can view these light and dark people, or do you have a certain, how do you know, like certain ritual to spot these kind of people?
I've gotten better just filling it up. I've done amazing in doing it with my business because, like, how it's set up and everything, where it's just like I'm not gonna convince people. I say this is what I have, this is what I'm doing. If you want to click in, if you don't. So people who click in want to. So it's like a screening process, or the whole PC shit is already happening. So it's like with my business, I don't really run into that issue. But I learned that I was running into it in my personal life because I wasn't being as stringent. I
Yes,
wasn't being as focused.
yes,
I wasn't being as I wasn't prioritizing my, let's say, the key, but I did my business. So
yeah,
my business has all like the like fucking cameras, it has all the alarms, it has all the shit, it has all that shit. But my crib is just a bando. It's just some trap house.
yeah, yeah.
And there's no like cameras, there's no alarms, there's no locks, and it's like incubi and succubi are getting in. And I'm like, how the fuck y'all keep breaking in? Like the door's open.
Yeah,
So it's
that's a good one.
like a whole bunch of like these interactions for you to realize, oh, I got to do the same kind of shit my tribe. I can't just let everybody. I can't
Yes,
just let anyone into the kingdom.
yes,
I gotta have walls and shit.
yes.
So
It's beautiful. You can't have a kingdom without castle walls. That's what you say. Yeah. I really, I picked it up just now. You're really verbose, very vocabulary type of person.
thank
You talk a lot in metaphors that I
thank
noted
you.
quickly, and your vocabulary is really extensive. Like you use some words I never use. Like, but I think
Appreciate it,
I
man.
was
Like,
I was talking. This ties really well into like the last podcast guest I had, the Spirit Ape. I don't know if you've seen him, but he talks a lot about esoterics as well. And he had a cool thing that he said writing and the written word is a metaphysical skill. And I said, what do you mean by that? And he said, the way you write and the way you speak and the way you think can change and alter reality, you know? And
yep,
it goes to show how
yeah,
your vocabulary is so broad, it means you can create more, basically, right?
Yes. Someone that like put me on game with this and like really inspired me. Of course, like I feel like we're gonna put a lot in this video. Tate, of course, has helped me with that shit because he speaks on his father in the way that he did that. But another
Mhm.
one was KRS-One because there's a video where he was speaking about like words are doing exactly what you just said. The more you know, the more you can create and utilize. So like use an example, like you can have a simple white room and it's just empty. But if you put people in there, you get different things. Whereas like you said he sent a painter into the room and
Mhm.
this painter was looking around the room and says this isn't just a room, it's not white, it's HOA and it's this and that. He
Yeah.
sent an electrician in the room and it's like a horrible room because all the wiring is faulty. And you got shit next to this and this, that, and the third. He sent a regular motherfucker in the room. He's like, this is just a regular room.
Yeah.
Depends on what you know, experience, and the words that you utilize, so that you can
Mhm.
utilize that shit in the room. It's not an empty room.
Yes.
If you think it's empty, right, you have it.
Yeah,
You
that's
know what I'm
beautiful.
saying?
I understand what you mean. It reminds me of this Ludwigstein quote or something. The bigger your vocabulary is, the yeah, basically the more of a reality you can create. And it's beautiful what you just said. So you have the same room, but it's colored differently by each individual's mindset or
Yep.
concepts of reality. Yeah.
Yep.
For
So
example,
it goes back to frame.
oh yes,
I
this
said it
goes.
goes right back to frame.
Yes, it goes back to the frame. Yes, that's 100% true. Because, for example, I haven't been per se in like combat, as special soldiers, from the US and stuff like that. But I've been to places where I was alone. So then almost habitualized in me when I enter rooms, it's really different than a normal human being would enter with their bros, because I've gone to like
Yep.
foreign countries and I'm all alone. And the room is
Yep.
really different. For example, I see how the room is good for dancing, this is a dancing place, or you can pick up chicks here, or the vibe is horrible here, don't pick up chicks here, shit like that. It goes in my mind because I color it with a certain narrative or frame,
Yep.
because yeah, that's how I raised myself. Nobody raised me to be this,
Word.
that's interesting, man.
So it's cool because like when you go into these rooms and everything, like these dancing rooms, it's seen in your just in your life. So you walk into this scene and you have certain roles available. I have a
Yes.
role for a bitch, so the bitch has to act like this. So people are auditioning the whole time, and you are
Yes.
the director. You're the
Yes.
caster. So they either get casted or they don't.
I really like that because I grew up with movies, so it sounds dope. Like you got to get casted or not, Yeah, it's
Yeah,
almost
and it's
yeah.
your movie.
What did you say? Sorry.
I say yeah, and it's your movie. It's your blockbuster hit, man. They got to
Yes.
pay to get in your shit.
Yeah.
No
Uh,
divas.
yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. For example, like recently, Sean Connery passed. One of the first 007s.
Hmm.
And like I grew up with those movies, but I never saw myself as that because one, I'm Asian, that guy's Caucasian. But the things I've been doing has set me up for that narrative that I actually wanted, like a man of mystery, a man of the world. I speak
Hmm.
multiple languages. And so I've been starting to see myself through this lens more and more because one, I go about it solo. I enter these cocktail bars by myself. I use a different language to pick up this girl, and there's nobody on the
Hmm.
fucking planet doing this shit except me, And people be like,
Nope.
one guy he DM'd me the other day, yo Fury, how many languages do you speak actually? Because you talked about this girl, blah blah. Then I thought, hey, this guy he was watching my movie, He not from a not from a
Hmm. Hmm.
braggadocious point of view, but I was showing people my narrative that I wanted just for myself, But it was being put out there. I really like that.
Yeah, dude. And it's like when you step into your frame, your authority, and you start kicking, you realize that you're more polarizing, and that's
Yeah.
the whole point. And
Yes.
someone who does this like masterfully is Donald Trump, and
Yes.
it's like it's so masterfully that people forget that you can ignore them.
Yes. Yeah. uh, for
Like,
example,
it's something.
we're talking about spells, and how much power a word has. If I say the word Trump, it's so triggering. It's fucking triggering as fuck. When I get in beef with like liberals in my country because we're a kind of liberal country, and I don't know, I segue it into like disclosing that I retweet all Trump's tweets just for the fuck of it. I don't do it, but just to trigger them. And they'd be like, "What the fuck did you do?" I'd be like, "His word is gospel, baby. His word is gospel." And they'd be like, because it's so polarizing, you know. I don't even fuck with him, but I mean, like, just
Exactly.
just to emphasize your point. Yeah, that's really, yeah, I like that,
Yeah,
polarizing. But oh
and
wait.
that's where you get.
Mhm.
That's where we're
Mhm.
essentially trying to get to, though, is to
Yeah.
be as polarizing as him, to where it's like you can't ignore him, or people
Yes.
forget that you can ignore him, because
Yes.
then he just utilizes both sides of the fence. He doesn't care where you're on. He's just pushing his narrative.
Yes. We were talking about a prolific man as well, Tate. He does it splendidly as well. People forget that you can actually, like, you don't have to follow him. You don't have to be
Exactly,
around. He does it really
and that's
well.
what I mean. Like, we're gonna plug this dude a lot in this video, man.
I don't mind because I used to DM with some of the Tates just for funs and giggles, you know. And I'm a bros with Dylan Madden, who's bro with Tate, so I don't have nothing against them.
Yeah.
So a question
Like,
jogged in my mind, like if somebody was watching this and he's like a little bit younger dude, you know, us 10 years ago, a dude in his 20s, and
yeah.
he hears us talking about this frame of authority, you know, and but he doesn't quite grasp it and doesn't know what to do with it. What kind of tips would you give him? You know, just some basic tips that you didn't know back then, which would propel him more into his own unique matrix and frame of authority.
I would like, first and foremost, lift. Like, you have to be in the gym, because like the whole Ajax thing, mentality is physicality.
Yes.
I'm believing that more and more now.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, because I was not as heavy on it like when I should have been. I prioritized like this whole. But if I would have like had a strong body, like,
Yes.
would have made it down here. Understanding that legitimately you and are the price, and goes back to him, understanding that you're gonna have to pay your dues as
Mm-hmm.
a 20-year-old man. You don't have the same game as a 20-year-old woman. She has
Mm,
like the whole world to her. You gotta build your world. It's
yes,
a different kind of game.
it's a
So you
different
gotta
kind of
like
fucking
tell
game.
them that shit.
Yeah, I
Like,
fuck with that a lot because
20-year-old girl could get married to a Bezos and she's
yes,
set.
yeah, she doesn't have to
20-year-old
do
dude
anything.
ain't no
Yeah,
multi-billion woman checking for you.
yes, yeah, I fuck with that a lot. So building the world, you know, yeah, yeah, definitely like discovering that recently as well. So during the lockdown, I invested in like lifting and stuff like that as well. I almost thought it was like a cope or a meme, you know, like yeah, just lift, bro. But the how do you say? I've
Yep,
been reaping the fucking benefits. I enter a room now, and
man.
before how do I say? Before they not disrespected, but they didn't give me enough respect, and they were just like, "Who's this weirdo?" But now
Yep,
manifested in a more physical, domineering presence. They'll look at me and
yep.
think, and now and it clicks with me. It was this strange vibe that I have, my aura, whatever you can call it, but now manifested in more physicality, and they'll be thinking like, "This is somebody else."
Yes,
So I do get like a
yes, man.
huge kick of that shit.
Yeah, man. It's like
Mhm.
it's it goes back to my story and all that stuff. Is like it just shows my journey, because I'm in a very similar like situation as you and shit, where I'm just like recently starting to tap into this type of like primal masculinity and understanding what comes with that. I'm understanding what comes with like how I didn't get a certain kind of response or
Mhm.
a certain kind of respect
Yes.
just because I was just because I was kicking a cult shit, just because I was minding my own business, generating a kind of respect near anything. And it's not like I had to go out and like, the answer to this wasn't to force my narrative down everybody else's throat. No, I am God, and beat on my chest. It was like, if you don't see it, I'm gonna bounce. But on
Yes.
top of that, it's like this physicality is kind of something that reinforces it. For me to be someone who goes about says, I'm God, I should probably have a God body. I should probably be respecting myself. I should
Yes.
probably be honoring myself. I would just convey in the whole congruence of my narrative.
Yes.
Can't just be like some scrawny little worm, little weakling ass motherfucker. Like I control
Yes.
the world. Like, you don't
Yeah.
look like you can control your diet, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, definitely there's a conveying aspect of it, the congruent message. I had that as well. I think maybe what I want to say, like when I was younger, I was maybe a little bit too full of myself. I have it maybe these days as well, but so in my photos, you see somebody who was on top of his game in certain times of life, and but they'll be looking, bro, look at
Yeah.
your bicep, look at your bicep. I'll be like, then I thought, why say that? And then I was starting to think, yeah, maybe there's something there, this investment of time that I have to put in my body to convey my, yeah, basically
Yep.
my, yeah, my vision, my power that I put in myself. Like, hey, I respect myself X amount, and it shows. It could be really different things as well.
Yes.
Like talking a little bit about Tate as well. Like for example, he doesn't body build weightlift as much. He chose to go into the kickboxing world. And so he really knows how to whoop ass. So that's a lot of for the young boys out
Yep.
there. If you're more, if you want
Yep.
to channel your primal savagery into more like martial arts, I would definitely go with that, or business. Because I see some guys. Uh,
Yep.
I know I can push them over, but they have this presence because they're so fucking competent. You can see they made money. They know how to
Yep.
kill, they know how to murder in something.
Yep.
So it could either be sports, weightlifting, martial arts, or business. It has to be something like that, an amalgam maybe of all of them. And yeah, then the women smell it
Mm-hmm.
on you as well. If we're talking about women, they smell that shit on you.
Just like my business and the fact that I'm doing this shit, like
Mhm.
I don't know if this gets talked about or anything, but my business is my perfect wingman. Not just the fact that I like astrology and bitches love astrology,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
the fact of the matter is like it's not just that. It's just the fact that like I have global clientele, so I can always use that shit in a bar or always use that in like game or pick up our
Yeah,
conversations. Like I only have so much time with you. I got my shit. Perfect
I love
wingman,
that.
man.
I love that.
A man
That's
in power, a man in
that's beautiful because it's just part of you. You're not being try hard. It's just they ask you something, and it's, yeah, I know five guys in like America. All my like, for example, what's funny, they one thing I say, like,
yeah,
what is it, like a woman, before I like be intimate with her, I say, I have like shoulders of a demigod, and they be like, we'll see about that. And then later, whoa, your shoulders are really great. How did you do that, or something? And I'll just casually say, like, yeah, all my friends are like fitness
yeah,
coaches. I'm talking about age, the whole fucking timeline, all these fucking bros. It's impossible not to
yeah,
have like some kind of physicality, or else you're fucking dumb. And but it just slips out of you. Like, I know these kind of guys, and then you can also play around with a little bit, like chess. Yeah, it's the perfect wingman.
yeah. Like sometimes I like to do. I did this like a lot last year when I was dating heavy and I
Hmm.
was PhDing. But one of the things I like to do is like when the women do that whole interview, they try to like size you up and figure out who you are. One of my favorite things to do when like, they were asking me what I do is like I sell drugs and read the stars. Just that,
What did you say?
like
Can you repeat that?
sell
You broke
drugs
up
and
a
read the
little bit.
stars because I worked at a dispensary. So, like no problem. Like when a woman starts coming and asks me what I do,
Yeah,
I
what do you
work
say? You just
salute.
sigh.
I sell drugs and read the stars. I sell drugs, read the stars. She says, "What? That's what? No, you don't." Okay.
Yeah,
So then she starts inquiring more about like the drug shit. Then she starts inquiring about the stars. And me saying I read the stars ultimately comes to I'm an astrologer
yeah,
after enough reeling in. And
yeah,
then
yeah.
boom.
I get it.
What am I? What is this? What is the
Yeah,
chess?
yeah. She jumps in your frame, basically. Yeah, it's from
Yeah.
I think also, like, this, having this frame gives so much peace of mind, actually. Such a tranquility, because I
Free.
do a lot as well.
Yeah.
Like, so when people do small talk, they always say, what's your age, what's your name, and where are you from? Those are basic, like, big
Yep.
three basic questions. And for me, it goes into my frame so fast. What's your name? Fury. Huh? Is that really your name? And then, where are you from? A samurai village. And then, no, no, really tell me. Then I say, if I tell you, I have to kill you. You know. And If they don't laugh, I
Word.
already know the game is up. But then they go, oh yeah, blah blah, and it's so much more fun, because back in the day, I was like dancing to their drum, just dancing to their strings,
Yeah.
and now it's reversed, it's flipped. It's like I don't want to like, yeah, I graduated this and that. No, that shit. I don't want to play that shit, It's fucking
Yeah.
boring. And if it
No.
gets serious, and the
So
woman
instead,
goes, sorry, yeah, what do you say?
I was like saying what you were doing and everything is like you're living in your movie and shit. You're Fury. That's it. Man from Sunrise Village, no, I tell you I gotta kill you and shit. So you're creating this movie and you're giving her a role in the shit.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a down roller coaster of a film already. You already got her intrigued, like, and you're taking her on this ride of emotions shit. Whereas the average person comes in, oh, I have a big dick, make so much money, I can get the best sex ever.
Yeah.
That's cliches. Everything for the course type of shit. You're already taking her on an experience, so you already have her in.
Yeah, and I'm not even trying, because I talk with my friends about these things day to day. For example, we're talking about this shit, and then if I'm like DMing with this girl, I'm PhDing her as well. Like just straight up, it just bleeds from this podcast to like the phone, and the next interaction. It's fucking hilarious, ridiculous. It's really good to then have like a network set you up, because like you were talking about starring in your movie, you gotta have a cast, you gotta have your bros, you gotta have something.
Some like it like that's what I'm learning with this whole like war room, and that's why I've been so busy these last 6 months is like I realized my network was really small. Like in terms of how I did certain things with my clients and shit, our interactions with my interactions with my clients, like my name doesn't come up. Like I never give my name, I never give my age, their name doesn't come up. It's just a spiritual, it's a very energetic octagon. So we just get right to it and get to talking. I feel like thank you for your support. Thank you for rocking with me and doing all this thing. It's people such as yourself that allow me to do this and I have to work a job and encourage interaction from there. And then we just get into it for a couple of hours.
Damn. Yeah.
No names, no nothing.
Yeah. Without giving away too much of these sessions, can you disclose a little bit how it would go? Because for me, like I know a little bit about sales calls, and maybe some people that are listening equate it to like sales calls, maybe, that you have to qualify the prospect and bring them to the offer and shit like that. But I can imagine there's like a small like mystical element to it. Can you enlighten us a little bit? Don't give away too much. I don't want to give
Yeah,
you.
no worries. The things I was doing as of late couple of months is like I was going for more of a volume thing. So I was going for like last month. I had 22 clients and I was averaging at least 2 hours per each client that I was like talking to. Sometimes I'll go around 3 or 4. But I had like 20 clients, and what I would do is put the offer out there. Yo, I'm giving these new readings. I got different tiers, different options. I can break it in different ways. I can walk you around your entire chart, explain with all these planets and all these symbols and all this shit, and how it works in a practical sense in a manner. We can talk about past life shit. We can talk about next steps. We can talk about business. We talk about love, transits, and it's like limited to your imagination. So it's a very, very big and open thing. So like in times of or in days past and shit, astrology was used to conquer nations, build wealth and shit like that. Now it's related to like horoscope, which fractures you from the entire body and like, this whole dubious nature to this shit.
Yes.
So what I do is I like believe that you're not just, let's say, one sign. You're not just one planet. You're the entire solar system. You're the entire universe personified. So you have to tap into these energies already within you. You don't go outside of it.
Yeah.
So taking your authority and your narrative and you kicking it in your unique and divine way.
Yeah. That sounds dope. It reminds me a little bit about sales. You basically present the offer, and if they fuck with you, they fuck with you or not, These are the options. If you want it or not, we'll proceed with this. If you want that, whatever, I really liked. So I was going through your timeline about. Then I spotted what you just said, that everybody has different energy, like Scorpio energy or Pisces energy. Everybody has a little bit of it. I'm not into those things, so it was a little bit new for me. But So they're like in the Western zodiac, they're like 12. You know, doesn't mean everybody has a
Yeah.
little bit of the 12, or they're more dominant ones.
So
Or
if there's like everybody's gonna have all aspects of this shit, but just give certain planets because each planet may be ascribed to a certain sign.
Mhm.
So let's say like when people talk about horoscopes, usually just the sun sign. When people say what's your sign, they're asking about your sun. But again, you got like a moon, you have a Mercury, you have a Venus, Mars, etc., etc.
Yeah.
You have a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah.
So your sun sign could be like how it be. Let's me, I'm a Pisces sun. So I can be Pisces and all that shit, but I got a shit ton of Capricorn energy within me. So if I looked at like a Pisces horoscope, I might not resonate with that. I would probably resonate with the Capricorn more.
Okay.
So I would look at that shit.
Yeah.
And move in that nature. So each of them have like an underlying signature and things that, like say, they bring to the table. Each have their own like unique game. So just understanding what energy signature is which and then moving accordingly. Like excuse me, for Donald Trump on Gemini shit. Like
Mhm.
this is gonna be someone who's like a master of frame, a master of alchemy in a sense, where he's only gonna be very self-interested.
Okay.
Very, very self-interested. He's showing you who he was. He tells you who he is. It's not like he's compromising any of that shit. If you're on his side, cool. He'll go over there and treat him like he walks on water. If you're not on his side, he'll bring you to his hood and then talk shit about you and emasculates you in front of everybody.
Yes.
So it's like you can't really beat someone like that.
Yeah.
That's is using he's moving a certain kind of narrative. Whereas
Yes.
with me on some Pisces shit, analogies, metaphors, paradigms, all that shit. I'm saying things in a way where it's like there's multiple ways where you can interpret the shit. That's some Pisces shit.
Yes. Yeah, I like that, the interpretation part. Yeah, I was reading to one of those like yeah, one of I think I read one of the sales pages of one of your books. I saw it. I was really captivated by it because I can imagine
Oh man,
there's a whole market for it, you know, and you can offer people whatever they want if they're interested in it, and you make them satisfied, you know. So everybody's fucking happy. So we'll move on to the next question. This is
yeah,
really
man.
interesting because earlier we talked about like purchases, and I was hearing you love to invest in yourself. And this question is,
Yeah.
what's one of the best investments you've made in your life, or most recently, if you know?
The best made in my life was around 5 years ago when I first put out the offer for doing this shit. Like when I first started like giving readings and stuff was about 5 years ago, and I was giving them out for free, and I was under 1,000 followers. So it was like, yo, just getting in the game. I think I can do this type of shit. Don't know if it's gonna charge or whatever, but until I crack 1,000, I'm gonna give out these free readings.
Yes.
I gave out 100. So yeah, that would be the best investment I put in myself out there because it led to this shit 5 years later.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you invested in yourself. I really like that. I like the theme of that because a lot of people. So this question has been asked a lot to different types of people. And for example, one dude said he invested in his wife, in his relationship, and you said you invested basically in your skill set, your game, your future. You invested in your future. Another invested in cultivating the rugby mindset to have tenacity and grit, and he transferred it to his business as well. So that's really dope to hear,
Yeah.
actually, that there's an overarching theme. Um, so what's something unusual about you that you do or say, something that's unusual about you or that other people say about you, you know?
Um, I kind of just, let's say, exist in this realm. Like, it seems like I'm daydreaming because I'm in my own world. So I got my own vibes and shit, like, legitimately. Um, in terms of like me getting these like mantras, these spells and these occult shit like in the desert. So sometimes I'll go in the middle of the desert, like coyotes, cacti, dirt, all that shit under a full moon, and I'll
Yeah.
kick my mantras. I'll do my little dances and shit. I'll go out there with the mountains and everything. I'll go
Yeah.
commune and do shit like that.
Hmm.
It would just be me.
Yeah.
It's not on the timeline. It's not shit like no, it's just my shit, my little codes and stuff.
Yeah.
So shit like
Yeah. I can vibe with that as well. Especially for me, there's something when it gets dark and out in nature, I do the same. Like I grab some cigars or something and some whiskey or something. And yeah, I would say to a normal person, I'm just getting fucked up or something. But what I do, I create like
Yep.
a state of myself, and then I go inside,
Yep.
and then I say these things as well.
Yep.
But then I always say I'm traveling to the future because when that state is over, I come back to the present, like reality or whatever, and then I say, "Yo, bros, I
Yep.
see the future." You know, I put out tweets like that actually, but yeah, maybe for some people it's too spiritual, but I legit like see these things and I feel it, you know, and then I'm like geared up again, you know. But I've never got into the fucking desert. That sounds. When I saw that, I thought, yeah, that's fucking cool. Yeah,
Yeah, man. It's just like little things like that. It just all goes back to narrative. It all goes back to food. It goes back to my shit. Because then I'm looking at things differently.
yes,
Because when I'm out there in the dark and everything, I'm kicking these mantras, I'm kicking these spells. You can put like some are very much like rap lyrics. I'm telling it shit. So I'll go quote unquote perform my rap and everything for the moon and for the stars.
yes,
So the stars, yeah, they book this concert eons in advance. The
yes,
stars want to see me. They want to see
yeah,
the god. The moon wants to see me. So formally shit, and I kick my matrix with that. It ain't shit. They could kick it to a normal human. Talk my shit to a human.
yeah,
The celestial bodies fuck with me. So it ain't shit for me to talk to fucking Joe up the street.
yeah. I know what you mean. Once you commune with the universe, like an interaction with
Yep.
another human being is different. You know, when you commune with celestial bodies, as you say. I've never communed with that, but
Yep.
there's almost like a non-entity or an entity that I can't give really a name. You know, because I'm not I'm. You would say I'm spiritual, but not really into it. You know, I just feel these things, and yeah, definitely get some energy of it. You know, that's what I do it for. You know, just for me, my energy.
Yeah. I like to use just God or source because it makes it easy.
Yeah, just use the word God.
It makes it easy to talk to God. I'm talking to God and the person that I'm speaking to currently.
Yeah,
So it's in relation to my matrix source and God. Be or it could just be talking through you. I like to think you too, dog. You're pretty dope.
yeah, he's talking through you. Yeah, we're all like vessels and conduits. I see that type of like tweets a lot from different types of dudes. For example, one dude he said to
Yeah.
me, what did he say to me? Oh, I should listen to Theta waves, like binaural beats, with glycine and ashwagandha
Mm-hmm.
while spooning a girl. Then I'll go through the astral plane. So I've been dabbling with that. It's fun.
Hmm. I'm gonna try something like that myself, man. Like, I
Yeah.
haven't like I like to do like certain things until like the whole tantra shit, where
Hmm.
it's like you can date and do things with like yourself or with a woman.
Yes.
Like if the woman is in the mindset and you like get her to a point or aim her rather to a point where she's receptive to what you're doing, you can create entire worlds together because you're two conscious beings in that moment. You're now
Yes.
low. If God comes down, that's some demigod shit that you can get at best. But if God comes down and fucks goddess, you can create any fucking thing that you want.
Yeah.
Health, more wealth, travel, bring a kid in here to be the next, I don't know, Beethoven or some shit, if that's what you wanted. But it
Yeah.
comes down to both of you conscious beings being in that kind of space. She has to be thinking about those things that she wants to bring in. As you guys are intimate, then you circle that energy right back to her, purifying, saying like, yeah, I put my stamp on it. So then you guys are both bringing some conscious,
Hmm.
like divine shit into it.
Yeah.
Sex can be used for creation or procreation.
Yeah.
So that shit that they were talking about, going some astral plane shit, like I believe in that wholeheartedly, man.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah. Definitely have to look into that tantra aspect. I haven't, how do you say, because of like lockdown and stuff, haven't seen that much women. You know, a lot of people. The tweets I put out, I think I'm like some pussy magnet, but I like to keep to myself, keep my energy to myself. But definitely something that I, how do you say, filter now for. You know, because some women are more ghouls. You know, you have to stab like with a silver blade, go away. but other women are more goddesses,
Mhm.
and that's the one you want, you know, because then you can create and procreate and create new Beethovens. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's what you want, man. Cause like I don't have to tell you, like a woman could like make break you as a man, dude. She can like either take all your shit or she can like make your shit all better.
Yeah, that's true. We all know that intuitively. So you've been transcending a lot these like 5 years, and also these last couple of months. So what's like a new habit that you've cultivated these last 5 years, or maybe these last few months, that has really been 10xing your productivity or your vibe or your energy?
Like learning how to utilize money and energy better. Like what I'm doing, not quite happy day day. I'm starting. So like this last week, I've started creating a notebook for I got every
Wait, can you
other
repeat
week.
that?
And
You
I got
broke a little
some
bit off.
to some other stuff.
So you're looking into money and as
Yeah,
to
from yeah, I put some money into Bitcoin and some stocks and shit. So that's my new investment and shit. So I'm going in some ways where I'm looking at wherever I spend in a day, I have to spend that in investments. Like I have to put that in stocks or Bitcoin and shit.
yeah.
So it's making me far more again, just discerning with the money that I use and like the energy that I use and shit of those things. But yeah, it's been pretty solid. It's like if I can't do it 3 times, like if I can't buy it,
Yeah,
invest it, and save the money,
yeah,
it's
that's
my
good.
new habit.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, you sound like that. I should actually do that as well. I think when I have a little bit more cash flow, I'm gonna go into that as well, because crypto is the future. You know, I believe about the disruption.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think like the population is not gonna like sustain the way it is now. Digital currency is the future. I believe that as well. So definitely have to look into that as well.
Absolutely.
So, what would you give advice to a young, smart college kid who just got out of college and he's fresh to, take over the world, you know? And the usual thing a person would say is like, go get a job or something. But what kind of advice would you give?
Mm, I would say get to a point to be like intensity, like not just like doing what other people say you're done with college. Okay, you're done with college. You're looking for and you're going to like what do I do next? You're pretty much like you pretty much like did the whole college thing correct? 'Cause you're looking for the next step. You're
Hmm.
asking people for what to do.
Yes.
College trained you effectively. So at that point, I would say just be honest with yourself and be authentic with that shit. Like me, I'm on shit where I want my millions. I want to travel the world. I want to do some things. I want to be a womanizer. I want to get up on this shit. That's honest. I'm not going to lie like, oh, I care about what this woman has in terms of a degree when I honestly fucking don't. I
Yes.
don't care about those things. So with this person who graduates from college, they have to assess what they really fucking care about, what they really want in life, so then they can be accordingly.
Yes.
Otherwise, they're gonna keep asking what they have to do. They're going to get casted into someone's movie because someone's gonna look for someone who wants to do something.
Yes.
But
So so I hear a little
was
bit
just
like the motive what you
I
said
was looking
earlier.
for a role.
Yeah, cast your own
Yep,
movie. You know, play your own movie. Be authentic to your intimate
yep,
desires. Because, for example,
absolutely.
it reminds me a little bit of, how do I say this? Let's say some guys are really into cars. You know, those
Yep,
Lambos or those fancy watches like Patek and stuff like that. It's a no-brainer that if you do certain stuff, you will never afford those stuff. If you do
yep,
different stuff, you will be able to afford those things, you know, potentially statistically. Not saying everybody is there out to make it, but you have to be honest with yourself. Because if you want
yep,
a certain thing, you're not gonna get it if you do something else. You know, a lot of people like
absolutely,
I don't like to be tied to a desk, because for me, then it would never enable me to go out on a whim, travel, like I said,
absolutely.
travel the world. I really resonated with that. And also I don't like a lot of women per se, but I like exotic women. from different places. If I was tied to a place, it would never facilitate. It would be incongruent with me. So that's definitely something
Absolutely.
a lot of young kids can, be more yourself,
Absolutely. Because like with this whole shit, like there's you can just take it like from my whole experience, there's countless astrologers online
Yeah.
or in real life.
Yeah.
So it's like I live in that whole abundance where it's like, yeah, there can be all of them, but none of them have my narrative, none have my skills, mastery, no one has
Mhm.
like my ability to weave my like story into like game, into this whole shit that I have for other people.
Yeah.
So I'm solid. If someone doesn't want to talk with me, cool. Other people might get the information where they receive it. I even have no problem like referring other people.
Yes.
Try to be for me,
Yes.
regardless. Like
Yeah.
those 22 people I asked for like last month are just like 22 oranges at the store, man. They're at the store.
Yeah.
Somehow, like it's a big ass store because it's the whole
Yes.
world in the internet. Like, ask for 22. I'm gonna be solid.
Yes.
So it's like if someone understands, like if they can express their like authenticity or their sincerity, their honesty, this is what I'm here for. They themselves is more than enough room. No one can ever take what's yours.
Yes.
You have
Yeah.
to give that shit up.
Yeah. Stop asking for shit and start like taking shit, but like, almost like be more, take more ownership, start taking shit for yourself,
Yeah.
Stop asking other people
Yeah.
for validity, validation, and permission.
Yeah. Like you can like the all shit that you're asking for, you're not asking necessarily other people, you're really asking yourself, but you're not answering yourself.
Ah,
Like,
that's
hey,
a
Fear,
good one.
can I go get some bitches? Do you give a fuck? Like, by all means, dog. Why am I asking you?
Yeah. That's a good one. I like how you formulated that. A lot of people are maybe, so step one, they ask too many things to other people. The step two, maybe they transition to asking themselves, but they're not answering themselves. Step three. That's a good one. That's why I like to do. We touched upon like how we go like into the fucking desert or in the nature and like do these sessions, because what
Yep.
I do, I basically ask myself uh, questions as well, like a deep introspective, like journaling therapy session, I call it. And
Yep.
when I ask these questions, the answers are there as well. It
Absolutely.
comes naturally. And then I think,
Every single time.
definitely should follow more where my answers lie. Not somebody else's, but my and yours as well.
Yeah. And that's essentially what I like call shadow work is what you're
Hmm.
doing. Because you're going into the shadows, you're going into your subconscious and you're asking the legitimately introspective, thought provoking things because you want to answer. And the ingeniousness of like our like mind shit is when we ask a question, answers always come. So we have to get better at asking more effective questions.
Yes.
So it is.
Yeah. 100. Yeah. It reminds me of Tim Ferriss. He has this thing that he says: better questions, better answers, better answers, a better life.
Yep.
Ask the quality questions, the life questions to yourself. Go into this process of what you call shadow work. I really like that phrase, by the way, shadow work. Yeah, because because you're dancing with your demons, dancing with your shadows, and it maybe has like, because of this podcast, a spiritual theme to it. But we all know that we all have demons, insecurities, weaknesses that you have to resolve, because I honestly believe if you don't resolve it right now, it will be left unresolved, and then when you're fucking 80 and in your fucking deathbed, then you will be full of shadows. They will not be integrated or cast away or whatever. They will be there, and then you fucked up because then it's too late.
Yeah. And that's where the whole thing comes in terms of the whole, let's say, incarnation shit.
Mhm.
Is if you end your life when you have all these shadows that you haven't integrated, that's when you die and your heart is heavier than a feather. So then you have to come back to this plane and you're more ignorant than you were this time because of you didn't do the work last time. And I gotta double down and like be even more quote unquote divine jump over these hurdles the next life that you come into this shit.
Yes.
So this whole life is about like doing what you have to do in order to not come back.
Yeah, I think for the Westerners who don't believe in reincarnation per se, it's still it still vibes with them when you say that at their deathbed their heart is heavy. You mentioned, right? Um, they can
Yep.
understand that concept. They don't want that. Not per se that they believe in
Absolutely.
reincarnation, but there's some coaches that believe in that, and it's definitely I can see that working. You know, you fucked it up this time, the next time you're gonna fuck it up maybe again, and maybe I fucked it up the past times as well, and it's just something
And that's
also you don't want to give to your kids if you want to make it more tangible,
absolutely,
because these generational
absolutely.
curses they keep going on and on and on. You know, for example, the way your parents
Yep.
argued, there's a chance you're gonna argue with your spouse like that, or with your kids how they did it with you. It's like it's the
Yep.
same. Like you have to resolve it at one point and come from a place of like abundance and like love. You know.
Absolutely. And like all that unlearning, and that's where it kind of like goes back to like my younger brother and that being one of my largest failures.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I don't resolve that, if I don't take initiative towards that, if I don't do certain things, that's gonna make my heart heavy. That's why I understand, like, okay, I can't force this shit on him. I'm the black sheep, quote, unquote, or maybe he feels like he's the black sheep.
Yes.
So what I got to do is my shit, save myself, get myself into a position to where he sees it's possible, because it's
Yes.
still my younger brother.
Yes.
So then once he sees all this shit is possible, then of course I'm not having him with open arms. That's my ace. That's my dude. But still, I'm his older brother. I'm gonna tease him.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's not like I want him to fail. It's not like I want him to suffer. Of course, I'm gonna travel the world with this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course, I want him to have well. So that's where I'm going with it, and that's if I don't save this motherfucker, that doesn't mean that my life is fucked up or that
Yes.
my life doesn't have merit, or it just means I could not save him. That's his job anyway.
Yeah. I feel you on that, man. Yeah. But yeah, you have to save yourself first. I heard that. I really resonate with that. Been putting out a lot of tweets on that. Yeah, that topic. That to go your own path, you really have to go all the way. You can imagine it as going deep into the dark forest by yourself.
Yep.
Maybe there in the cave you will slay the dragon, which is really like
Yep.
very, how do you say, visceral visually for people. If you slay the fucking dragon,
Yep.
then you can come back and say, hey, baby, we did it. And with this like tangible proof of like this suit of armor that you killed this dragon or whatever, you know, you want to slay.
Yep.
People will
Yep.
they will feel it more, they will believe you more, and then things will resolve more
Absolutely.
frictionless. You know, you can't force it upon them. And yeah, we will see about that. Yeah, these visions that have to manifest itself.
Yeah, dude. And it all is doing is like is creating some paradigms within me where I'm starting to see shit like failure completely different. I don't
Yes.
fear failure. It's just
Mhm.
a brutally honest teacher, ruthless feedback, and I
Mhm.
just fuck with it because that's what it is. It's not even saying that I'm a failure. It's saying that I failed. So I'm starting to look at it in terms of like let's say athletes and shit. Like 'cause
Mhm.
everybody knows like a LeBron James or Steph Curry. Steph Curry makes a lot of 3-pointers. If Steph Curry takes a 3-pointer and misses, the attempt failed. Steph Curry is one of the greatest players in the game. He's not a
Yeah.
failure.
Yeah.
The attempt failed. So people have to remove themselves from failure and thinking it's like a treat to them as opposed to
Yes.
the actual attempt.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Failure is part of an action, but this attempt is not part of your identity. People misattribute this. Definitely, I definitely advise people to either take up some form of like journaling or meditation, or
yep.
maybe even take psychedelics or go into these like more spiritual stuff to get to know themselves better and sift through all this garbage, I call it, and remove yourself
Mm-hmm.
from all these failures, that it's not part of you. You know, you did it, you failed, but it's not you. You are not your failures, you are not your fuck ups, you are not your generational curses. And
Nope.
yeah, it's just as a human being you feel, and you don't have to equate it with extra emotions or label it more strongly into a permeating consistent mood that sets you back. You want to be set up by yourself, basically.
Absolutely. And it comes back down to the spells that you keep, the frames, the words you speak. Because like if you go into the mirror each and every day and you say, okay, goddamn, I'm the most attractive man in the world and all I do is drown in wealth and pussy.
Yeah.
Tell yourself every fucking day, the worst thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna drown in pussy.
Yeah.
Or the worst thing you just won't get pussy that day. Like
Yeah.
either way, still affirming a certain belief and you're still imbuing confidence and you're invoking a certain energy with reading the world with that energy.
Yes.
Reading the world with that energy every day is going to yield positive results eventually, as opposed to you just going out on default with whatever frame someone hit you with, whether it's a song or a mood or some like curse that someone said, man, you really look ugly today.
Yeah.
Now you're running with that as opposed to you programming yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely fuck with that. It reminds me of this quote. What is it? No, it's part of the Pascalian wager. So there's a mathematician. He said his name is Blaise Pascal. He was a famous mathematician. He talked about believing in God and reaping the merits of believing in God instead of not believing in it. Even if he doesn't exist, the belief in itself propels you forward with a certain energy. And to strip it down a little bit further to more tangible, actionable stuff, if you say these things, just as how you said now, if you say these things to yourself, the only thing that can happen is you start believing it. It's better than not believing it, because if it happens, it's like you reaffirm to yourself, hey, I just said that to myself, instead of just like downplaying on yourself fucking garbage and again playing in other people's fucking movies that we don't want, you know? You still there, man? Wait. Yeah. Yeah, but let's transition to the next question then.
No problem, pimp.
So, in your specific line of work, what are bad recommendations that you hear? Because you've been talking a lot about good stuff, you know, holding frame and stuff like that. But what are bad things?
I think the bad things are gonna go along the when people build a cult for like insidious purposes, and you can like see it. Sometimes, or a person I like to use for this, I have no problems. Is like Gary, the numbers guy.
Oh, yeah.
I really have an issue with this gentleman, just
Yes.
the way that he carries his business and like conducts it.
Yes.
There's a lot of I'm the greatest motherfucker ever, I can save you type of vibes, where he's like, I really have an issue with that. I also have the issue with the whole non-decision shit. It's so ridiculous. Success or like, it breeds some kind of mindset what I don't like. I don't like people who claim to be gods over other people.
Yeah.
The whole thing with my narrative is like, I'm God, no doubt, but I'm my God. I'm not your God. I don't want to be your God. I don't want to be the God of else and shit. I want to be their own gods should they accept accountability and authority. So for people who move on a malicious intent, looking to just siphon shit, that's not my bag. Huge on like if you only have like one reading or one session together and you don't require me no more, wonderful. Like you picked up all the codes. You shouldn't have to keep coming to me for a spiritual like hit on like drug shit. You know what I mean? So that's something I huge on it. I'm adamant about is like making sure everybody maintains their own frame, their own sovereignty, and they get into this shit for the appropriate reasons. I'm not be no one's father, no one's God, no nothing, shit like that.
Yeah.
I can kick you some code and like work with you in the shadow work shit because I'm doing it for several years and it may be new, but I'm not gonna do the work for you.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So like bad recommendation would be like, yeah, people like these cult kind of people that make people rely on them basically like a drug hit. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, like you can only get high if you come over here. I got the best shit to get you high,
Yeah,
bro. I don't sell that shit.
yeah. The same for me. Like for example, I have some info products. It's almost like plug and play. For example, I have one info product that gives my decade knowledge of writing in there. There's no
Hmm.
follow up. There's no sequel because I don't know anymore. So it's
Right,
just if you've read
right.
it, you're done. You know the same shit as me. You can ask me questions how I have implemented it further, or
Hmm.
things I'm working on right now, like the deep shadow work stuff, like the internal workings. I'm still in
Yeah,
the ongoing process of it, and I don't have like products for it. I don't want to show anything that's not catered to the needs of what somebody wants. But if you want to chat,
right.
my DMs are open for that. But I don't want people to basically like, because like Twitter facilitates guruism, you know.
Yep,
I always
yep.
joke about being a guru, but I do it tongue in cheek. I don't want to be the guru, your guru.
Right, right, right.
And it goes even so
Um,
far that if you come to me, I refer you to the right person, you know? That's why I do.
yeah,
I can give you anything you want because I know a lot of people, you know? And then we can come up with something for you, you know?
absolutely. And well, kind of like sense that what you were doing is say you have your info product for 10 years of shit. It's like, yeah, that's the info product 10 years of you're not looking to again people to like we just keep coming back for it. They're like, you don't have any more from me. No. Shit. Or like I broke them up into like the individual signs game for signs, like
Yes.
some shit. Common misconception is Virgo's here to be perfect. They have perfectionistic tendencies.
Hmm.
And I feel personally that couldn't be further from the truth. They're
Hmm.
just here to communicate a message as effectively and holistically as they can.
Yes.
So if you from like he's just here to be the greatest basketball player he ever wanted or could be, and these are things that he said. So when you look at the end of his life and his legacy, you can see like his message. That's all he's been about,
Yeah.
even to the point where people call that. But the whole point this nigga had a helicopter was so he could fit his family into his life.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
feel me?
Yeah.
They weren't
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
gym with him. His life being the best one. He's
Yeah.
still the girl dad. He's still this one everybody like celebrates him to be, but it's his matrix is predicated to him being the greatest legend he could be. That's
Yeah.
Virgo shit.
Yeah.
What I would do
Yeah.
everything is like with each sign, like I break them down in like little things that you can apply, heal, and be aware of, so you can avoid these plot holes and utilize this shit effectively.
Yeah.
Not saying that this is the go shit. Pull the codes from it and apply it in your own realm.
Yeah. I
That's all.
think, yeah. I think it's a little bit like holding somebody's hand or like babysitting, you know? It's a lot. I think that's why like social media has become like a big daddy, and the spiritual war
Mm-hmm.
is ongoing because people ask
Mm-hmm.
too much. You know, they're stuck in step one that we talked about, this
Yep.
validation thing. And it's cool that we
Yep.
can be the bridge between basically step
Yep.
one and step two. But the bridge between step two and three has to be yourself, I think. That from us,
Absolutely.
yeah, so we are like the catalyst or the spark
Mm-hmm.
to make you ask yourself these
Mm-hmm.
questions, but the answers you must make yourself. It sounds almost too
Absolutely.
floaty for people, but in the end the
Yeah.
only person that can give you the answers is you know.
Right. It's like legitimately the whole infant learning to walk type of thing. We can like be there for support. Like, okay, cool, you got it. Next step, if you fall down, I'm not gonna roast you. I'm not gonna humiliate you. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna debase you.
Yeah.
You're legitimately making efforts and stride towards
Yeah.
evolution. So eventually it's going to come to a point where I can't hold your body and you have to walk by yourself.
Yeah.
That's just what it's going to come to. So,
I heard something what you just said now, like you're not gonna debase, you know, you're not gonna judge basically. And I recently put out a tweet about how when I was at a swimming pool, uh, this dude started chatting up to me, and I think I have this vibe. You have it as well. That we're very non-judgmental,
mm-hmm.
and these people just
Yep.
open up. Can you elaborate a little bit? What's that about? Do you think about your vibe and mine? What is it that triggers these people to, yeah, to open up?
Well, I can say from myself, and
Hmm.
I can assume, but correct me if I'm wrong, but you're comfortable in silence.
What did you say? I'm what?
Like that's what you are comfortable in silence.
Yeah.
Like, you could sit in it.
Yeah.
Like there's no problem with it. Like there's a void. You don't have to like speak. You don't have to fish it in. No, you're fine with that. Most people, most humans are uncomfortable. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So you are still waters, and people are narcissists. So they're seeing themselves. So they're talking to themselves in these still waters because you
Yes.
allow it to be.
Yeah.
It's not like you need to dictate the relationship. Not like you have to dictate flow that determine the rapport of the interaction. No, you are calm as is,
Yes.
whether they are there or not.
Yeah.
So they are coming to you as they are, and where they are at is somewhere where they need to express some shit where they don't often feel safe or sacred space in order to do so, and you provide that simply being.
Yeah.
So that's the shit that I do as well.
Yeah. I noticed that because when I put out certain types of tweets, I get certain types of reactions. One, I don't look at a lot of them. I know these people don't understand, but I saw your reaction and I could tell that you understood what I meant, because I had a long time like thought of myself as a mirror. You just said it, like a still water is like a reflection. This basically goes back to the Greek mythology of Narcissus. He looked in the water and he saw his reflection, and it's perfect, like you said. Like, of course, I have narcissistic tendencies as well. Don't get me wrong, but right.
But it's not. The thing is, like, you're not projecting them onto other people.
Yes.
The way that you go about, the way that we go about doing this shit is like we're narcissists in that we're constantly creating ourselves and projecting the type of reality and make sure that because this is what I want. I'm selfish. I want to travel the world. I want to do this shit. I don't want to sit in the fucking office. That's some narcissistic shit. I'm better than motherfuckers sitting in the office. That's narcissistic. But it's not like you're going off and being like, wow, you're sitting in the office, you ain't shit.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I only do that to tease people and to trigger people, but
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's tongue in cheek and everything, like you said, and everything, but it's not like your legitimate like energy where you're like, wow, you poor lowly motherfuckers.
No.
Look how pathetic you are and look how great I am.
Yes. I'm usually more, how do I say this? Like, for example, you said I'm comfortable in silence. It's because when it's silence, it's a gateway or a segue to peace, you know? It's one of those primary states before you enter a state of peace, before you do the shadow work. So there's like silence, then the demons usually come, and then there's peace, you know? And that's interesting,
Yep.
No, because I don't know, like a lot of people, I notice it especially at the swimming pool because, for example, I went again today, and there's a sauna there, you know? And after sauna, your head is fucking clear, you know? And if you have me plus the sauna, I'm like chill as fuck at the showers, and people just like, or in the sauna, you know, they're just talking. There was this girl the other day, she was talking like she opened up by herself. I was legit sitting like this. Said, like,
minding your own business.
I was minding, and I observed her. I thought, she looks really attractive, stuff like that. But then I thought, you know, this is a sauna, it's not a disco club or whatever, you know?
Right.
And then she just started talking, and I thought, okay, I can chat with her, you know?
Yeah, man. And that's the thing that like a lot of people will like not understand in shit, whereas when you're in your own vibe, you're in your own narrative, you're on your square, you can acknowledge people, but you don't have to do anything about that because you're there for other intentions and other purposes. This is the difference from, like, let's say if you were to go to a lounge or to a bar or a club, you're there to enjoy yourself, the environment, all that shit. So you're going not there like or her, you're not, you know what I'm saying? You're enjoying your shit is giving a completely different to anyone else. Everyone else is auditioning, but you're the holding auditions. It's a completely different vibe. So people come to you. You seem like you're having fun. You seem like you're chill. You seem like X, Y, and Z. Whatever. It's just they got to get to strike.
Yeah, definitely for people out there. Like some people are like new in the game, you know. Definitely mind your own business first, you know. Have fun with yourself first. Be comfortable with yourself. You know, just sit in silence. Because actually, I trained this shit myself. Like for example, I was more like an introverted, maybe even anxious person. I left
Mm-hmm.
that part behind me because I trained
Mm-hmm.
myself out of it by just going to clubs and bars by
Yep.
myself. I would be like the only guy. I would be sitting there, and they'd be like, "Yo, this guy, he's fucking loco," you know. And then they would talk to me, and then they'd find
Yep.
out. Oh,
Yep.
sure, I was like a party loco, but they were thinking like, "Hey, why are you alone?" Then I say, "Yeah, my friend left." Sometimes that was true, but sometimes I just went there just to have.
Sometimes it's just game.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah,
just.
dog.
Uh,
I get it 100%, man. It makes perfect
people
sense to
people
me.
should not be so afraid of themselves, man. I swear.
No, no, and that's ultimately what it is. They fear themselves and they fear their own powers. They're always looking for like a is this okay type thing from other people, a cosign, like it's the right for them to live their life or say if they want to say.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's definitely dope. Definitely, I think what I really like actually like about these talks is we just talked earlier how I'm a mirror to other people, but what I really found in the guests that I've had, they're like a part of me as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like for example, you bring
Yep.
out more of the spiritual side of me, and during the course of like these talks, I learned so much about myself actually that I really enjoy doing this shit. Like, yeah, so
Yeah, man. You like legitimately, you're inspiring me, man. I'm gonna have to start doing my own shit, man. After I create my podcast and stuff. Like
yeah,
this
for sure.
is this
Yeah.
is very much enjoyable.
Okay, let's move on. Like, so I definitely hear like we talked a lot about disqualifying, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
these last couple of years, or maybe these last couple of months, how have you become better at saying no? And do you have anything specific that you do when saying no?
Oh, I got better at saying no, just by simply like not explaining myself afterwards. Like a no is a answer. It is the sentence.
Yeah.
It's it. So like no is incredibly powerful, but you force it with the explanations, which actually deepens the no. Like you could ask me to be on a podcast. Hey, you want to podcast? Oh, because I got this, that, and that. Da, 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 da. No, man, just say no.
Yes.
Just say no. Okay. Just say no. So that's something that I'm working with my clients and
Mm-hmm.
myself and just leading by example where it's simply no. And if people start to ask for everything, if I over explain myself, I'm diluting my power, my authority, X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
That's simply what it is. So like if it gets to a point where not this is a little bit of a tangent, but if it gets to a point where like I'm explaining myself, yo, I pull gold out of the air like me back then, and people ask me how, everything not for me to explain all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
favorite response now is
Yeah.
same thing with a whole nother one word answer and explains it. If LeBron James came to you, Fury, and said, I'm gonna dunk on these two people in the paint right now, and said, and you asked him how, and he said easily, you're not gonna question the man further.
Yeah.
Because it's LeBron James and he does that.
Yeah.
So if I say no, that's it.
Yeah.
If I can pull out gold air and I say I can do it easily, that's it. It's not for me to keep going back and forth with someone outside of my matrix to
Yeah. Yeah.
confirm
Yeah.
or validate their approval. I can do this shit.
Yeah.
So that's where we would start from there. Is again the narrative, the power, just keeping on my square. Like valuing my energy and my words
Yeah.
enough to not have to continue.
Yeah, man. I can definitely see you're a man that respects himself because ultimately the things you say comes from a deep profound respect of yourself. You know, it's a manifestation of
Yeah.
your belief in your own power. You just said if you keep over
Yeah.
explaining yourself, you're diluting your power. You know, you gave the perfect example, like LeBron James. If he would say something, people would like be yes, yes, it's done. You know, they would enter his frame.
Yeah, it's
And
done.
if you want to grow in this kind of path, no is no. You know, and
Yep.
I see it a lot in these days. Some business dealings that I've gone through. One, people are scared to say no. The people I
Yeah.
admire, they don't play the gentleman's game. They dick around the bush. Hey, let me get back to you. Blah blah. Yo, bro, you can just say no. I'm done with it. Then I'll go to the next person. Don't hold me
Right.
up on this flimsy false bargain shit. Because
Right.
if I wasn't into it as well, I would say the same shit, and then people want more explanation. And then I thought, yo, bro, you wouldn't ask somebody who's like a fucking millionaire,
Yep.
no is no. Like, by the way, if it's too hot, the cigar, you don't have to smoke it all the way to the end, because some people find it too hot at the end. I see you like,
No, man, I smoke blunts. I'm fine, dog.
yeah, I think I'm the same like you, like, because I used to like smoke cigarettes, like I smoke it
Yeah.
all the way to the end, but some cigar smokers, they be like, it's too hot, bro. It's too hot, bro.
Nah, man, I'll be fine, dude. It's
Yeah.
my first cigar. I ain't gonna bitch out. What you
Yeah.
talking about? I'm on the podcast.
So how do you enjoy the cigar so far? What's your take on it?
I fucking loved it, man.
Yeah?
I fucking loved it. It's kind of had they done this sooner and everything. Like, I can definitely see myself like herb with this shit. Like, just not inhaling and everything is
Yeah.
a wonderful experience. So yeah,
It's cool to hear that, man.
glad
Because
I could do my first one with you on the podcast, man. Fucking
I love
dope.
that. Because a part of me like is sharing passions. This thing is like a passion of mine. I can do it by myself, but I love to like with sharing it with people. It's a strange, almost like an
Yeah.
alchemic effect, like
Absolutely. Absolutely.
that's cool, man. Oh yeah, we're going to the last question, man. So
All right.
the last question is, when you get overwhelmed in a state
Mhm.
of, basically the reverse how you are now, less abundant. When you get in this state, what do you do to get out of it?
Um, I like something that's helped me was that one thing that you sent me like a couple months back and everything, learning my up and my flows and shit, how to work with things.
What did you say? What did I send you?
Do now. That one link where it helped with the mastery and learning the energetic flows and how to be more efficient and everything. So that helped immensely because now I'm starting to see certain things like when I have these quote unquote low vibes or low energy and shit. It's like not necessarily a riptide or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The ground gets or water gets from underneath me. So at that point, I don't fight it anymore. Like I'm not like, holy crap, I'm in the most miserable place. No, I have an awareness of
Yes.
outside of my control, whatever happens and everything. So what can I do to ground myself in some sort of ritual or some sort of authority, some sort of mantra to bring my shit back?
Yeah.
If it's on shit like I should not, I was not judicious with my money. Now I'm in the red or some shit. Well, fine. If I'm in red right now, I can move in with that mindset. I'm in debt. I'm in this. I'm blah, blah, blah. Thrash. I can create a lot of energy surrounded by the subject of debt. So now I'm spending a lot of energy and attention with this subject of debt. So I'm bringing more of that.
Yeah.
Opposed to like doing something that I did just recently. I sold fucking 10 necklaces. Fuck it. If I'm in a debt and I'm like in the red by $20, then I'll make 3 and I'll be okay. So that's what I did. I sold the necklaces, got my 350 and everything, and I'm out of it.
Yeah.
So I'm realizing there's certain things I can do to move around shit. Just because I'm in the red right now, just because I'm feeling something right now, that's the moment right now. I can analyze that shit and then proactively thereafter because I'm God. That's what it is.
Yeah. I love that, man. I love how you say, I utilize a lot of my concepts. I do this as well. I really like how you, like, for example, went into like selling necklaces, because that's what you're doing. So when you're stuck maybe physically, but also metaphysically, and you have to get into motion. And you get into motion by doing stuff, by either a ritual. You have to move things around. You either move your body, you take a walk, or you go into lifting, But for you, you went from a state of not creating to creation. And creation is a very different type of energy for your brain, chemically, hormonally. And you get out of the moment or present moment that's just temporary, People have to really be aware of these things. Yo, you there? Yeah, let's wrap it up then. Or else maybe little snuff is gonna jump up. So I definitely love the last part about saying no. That's because a person that doesn't respect himself can't say no really well, I think. You know, it ties
Absolutely.
back to everything you said about frame of authority, knowing yourself, doing the shadow work, and having this own narrative. You're playing your own fucking movie, you know? And
Yeah.
yeah, in line with that, like, do you have any closing thoughts for the audience? You can plug anything you want, or just some things that you want to share inspirationally, or a little bit about yourself, or whatever.
What I like to plug, I guess they go on in terms of like I saw these necklaces. I just talked to Fury, crystal pages and everything. Go ahead and hit me a little DM on Twitter some more. Also, so shit, guys in free game in terms of the zodiac signs. If you want to get them by element, I even have a little warm room for shelters, my warm. So anybody wants to assist shit, I'm more than happy to assist you, but I'm not gonna do the work for you.
Yeah, for sure.
And that is absolutely. I'm gonna be picking up more cigars thanks to this man Fury. I'm gonna be talking to this man more everything, linking with him or whatever. If there's any kind of projects this dude want to be down with, I'm already put my hat in the ring. I would love to work with Fury and everything that he got going on. But with this man, that's all I got, man.
Thank you very much, Samor. I really enjoyed it. Like I said,
All I love.
each conversation for me is transformative, but I felt the unique soul behind your feed and your message. It really did me well, and I hope people, like, you know, can get something out of this, even if it's maybe too spiritual for people. I try to concretize it a little bit in like more actionable advice. They want the fucking action porn, you know. But it was great having you on, man. Let's do this again sometime. I loved it. Like,
Absolutely, dude.
Enjoy your day, man. Yeah.
You do the same, man. Enjoy your evening.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man. HOOA.
Yeah, man. Remain blessed and empowered. HOOA.